Welcome to The Explainer. Right now, we're watching the biggest tech titans completely duke it out in a massive, high-stakes price war over enterprise AI coding tools. You've probably seen those crazy free trials flying around, right? Well, behind those too-good-to-be-true deals is a hidden enterprise reality, one that engineering leaders and developers really need to understand, like yesterday. So today, we're giving you a strategic briefing on what's actually driving this AI land grab and exactly how you can protect your organization's long-term financial health.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the enterprise AI price war, uncover the free sample phase trap, and look at historical tech adoption cycles. Then, we'll assess true compute costs, hedge against service outages, and finally wrap up with building flexible AI workflows. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The Enterprise AI Price War, the battle for business adoption.
So, we are witnessing an intense, unbelievably fast-paced land grab to become the default tool in your company's tech stack. To really grasp how aggressive this is, you kind of have to look at this dramatic shift from April. Anthropic actually passed OpenAI in business adoption for the very first time, capturing over 34% of businesses, while OpenAI dipped down to 32%. That single data point, it sparked an absolute industry explosion.
Literally right after that data dropped, OpenAI fired back. Sam Altman posted on X essentially declaring Codex the absolute best product out there and offering, get this, 2 free months of usage to any company willing to switch over. This was a direct, super aggressive counterattack meant to completely halt Anthropic's momentum.
But wow, the battle did not stop there. Just 45 minutes after Altman's post, literally 45 minutes, Claude retaliated. They announced a massive 50% increase to Claude Code weekly limits all the way through mid-July. This rapid-fire exchange just shows you exactly how fiercely these companies are fighting for your daily usage.
Section 2. The free sample phase trap, misaligned incentives.
Now, while 2 free months of Codex sounds totally amazing for your current budget, we really need to look at this through a more analytical lens. So the crucial point is this provocative truth. Right now, you are not the customer. You are the training data. Your proprietary enterprise habits, that is the true currency in this phase of the war.
Why on earth are these providers happily eating massive compute costs to hand you these tools for free? Well, first off, they want deep, daily workflow dependency. They literally want your developers to feel paralyzed if the API goes down. Second, they desperately need your proprietary enterprise usage data. Capturing your team's real-world queries and troubleshooting is the ultimate moat for training their next models. Basically, capturing market share and your data is infinitely more valuable to them right now than immediate profit.
Section 3. Historical tech adoption cycles, a habit loop. To fully grasp the long-term financial risk here, leadership needs to realize that this AI war is actually a well-documented business pattern. It's a classic cycle. It almost always kicks off with a massive land grab in months 1 through 6, featuring those heavily subsidized tools. Next, the habit forms between months 6 and 12 as developers deeply integrate the tech. Eventually, competition thins out as capital dries up. And finally, month 24 and beyond, we hit the danger zone, the reset, where prices hike back up to reflect reality. And make no mistake, right now, we are squarely in that early land grab phase.
If you're doubting this cycle at all, just take a look at recent tech history. Facebook ads, Google AdWords, Uber, DoorDash, Netflix, AWS, they all ran variations of this exact same playbook. Artificially suppressed prices that are designed to capture your habits always, eventually, snap back to reality. Section 4. Assessing true compute costs, value versus reality. Let's expose the actual economics of AI compute to show the real financial vulnerability that organizations are kind of blindly accepting right now. $200. That is a typical monthly subscription we're seeing for premium coding agents. Now, if you're managing a budget, $200 for that sheer volume of output, it feels like an absolute steal, right? And this brilliantly illustrates the whole illusion. Contrast that fixed $200 subscription against the hidden reality. If you routed your team's typical heavy usage directly through an API, you would likely pay 5 to 25 times more for those exact same tokens. Plus, that output is basically the equivalent of $5,000 to $15,000 in human software engineer output. These companies are absorbing staggering, mind-boggling losses just to keep your subscription artificially low.
Section 5. Hedging against service outages, the risk of dependency.
So what actually happens when you build your entire engineering pipeline around just one heavily subsidized platform? You introduce a massive amount of risk.
I want you to ask your engineering managers this stark question today. What if your primary AI coding tool just disappeared out of thin air today? If its sudden absence would cripple your team's productivity, you've got an absolutely critical operational vulnerability on your hands.
And that risk isn't just theoretical. A provider's incentives can very easily misalign with yours. For instance, Anthropic's incentives heavily rely on maximizing token usage. But interestingly, this is coinciding with user reports of Claude model degradation and general compute stability issues. When the core incentives prioritize pure token volume over consistent quality, relying on a single platform becomes a really massive gamble.
Section 6. Building flexible AI workflows. Actionable defense.
Okay, now that we understand the strategic risks, how do developers and enterprise leaders actually protect themselves? Well, here is your step-by-step actionable defense. Step 1. Heavily utilize these free trials right now. Absolutely capitalize on the price war while it lasts. Step 2. Architect model-agnostic coding environments. Whatever you do, do not hard-code your workflows to just one provider's specific quirks. And Step 3. Closely monitor the improving, smaller, open-source models as your vital backup plan against future closed-source price hikes.
Ultimately, this is what victory looks like. True flexibility means you've built patterns so incredibly adaptable that your project can transition from Codex to Claude Code to Hermes or to OpenClaw in under an hour. If a sudden tool outage happens and the rest of your engineering week remains completely unchanged, that means you have successfully insulated your organization.
We're going to wrap up the explainer with this incredibly provocative thought from our sources. You're not paying $200 a month for AI. You're paying $200 for a 12 to 24-month exemption from real prices. So what does this all mean for you? Use this technology to its absolute fullest right now, for sure. But you must build the flexible workflows today that will protect you from the true costs of tomorrow. Are you ready for the reset? Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and keep learning.